The moment everything began to fall apart was quiet. Almost unremarkably, yet it was heavy enough to make the world stand still. On the edge of a serene suburban street stood a worn utility pole. A freshly printed missing poster fluttered softly in the afternoon breeze. The face on the page was young, innocent, and painfully full of life. Standing just inches away was a woman who had conquered boardrooms, industries, and global markets. But now, her hands trembled as if she were holding her own fragile heart together. What she said in that fragile moment would break a millionaire in a way no financial loss ever could. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that remind us of what truly matters, please like this video, comment, and share it with someone you love. And make sure you subscribe to World of Kindness. We'd love to know where you're watching from. Your voice matters more than you know. Her name was Celeste Rohan, a self-made millionaire known for her iron discipline and relentless drive. She had grown up with nothing, slept in her car during college, and forced her way into a world that never offered her mercy. Success became her shield. Control became her survival. People admired her power, feared her presence, and whispered about her coldness. But none of them knew why she stood shaking in front of that pole. The child on the poster was her daughter, Illa, daughter she had lost, not just in distance, but in connection. Years before, Celeste had convinced herself she was doing the right thing. She was building security, creating a future, ensuring comfort for her daughter. But in doing so, late nights became normal. Missed birthdays became routine. Unanswered calls became a habit. When Illa was just 8 years old, Celeste sent her to stay temporarily with a distant relative while she finalized a major business deal. But temporary quietly became permanent. Silence hardened into separation. And then, the call came. Isla was gone. No note. No explanation. Just a hollow absence where a child should have been. Weeks turned into months. The official investigations slowed down. Hope thinned. Celeste spent fortunes on private investigators, search teams, and public campaigns. But grief does not respond to wealth. It simply waits. And so, on this quiet street, Celeste returned once more, this time, posting the missing flyer herself, refusing to hand off the last fragile piece of motherhood she felt she still possessed. She watched as Celeste smoothed the poster's edges, her eyes searching the smiling face as if it was the first time she'd ever truly seen it. She turned, searching the child's face for doubt, for mischief, or cruelty, and found none. Only sincerity, lived experience, and a sadness no child should ever have to know. Don't hope, Celeste warned herself internally. But hope is a stubborn thing. It seeps through cracks long sealed. The girl explained piece by piece how she had seen the missing child, not on television, not online, but in real life, somewhere ordinary, somewhere overlooked by people too busy to notice the things that truly matter. Celeste listened without interrupting, her breath shallow, her mind torn between disbelief and desperate longing. Every instinct screamed caution, yet her body betrayed her. Tears welled in her eyes, her knees weakened. What finally broke her wasn't just the possibility that Isla was alive. It was the shattering realization that while she was chasing power and wealth, her daughter may have only survived through the kindness of strangers with nothing to give except their time, their warmth, and their care. She sank to the pavement, covering her face, as years of guilt poured out all the missed bedtime stories, the ignored messages, the countless moments when her ambition had mattered more than her presence. After that day, Celeste moved quickly. She followed the fragile trail the girl had offered. It was a path that led not to an instant reunion, but through a maze of records, shelters, and forgotten systems. And finally, Profila was alive. She was changed. Scarred, guarded, but alive. Their reunion wasn't dramatic. There was no running into each other's arms, no instant forgiveness. Isla stood cautiously, a young woman shaped by absence and time. In that moment, Celeste understood that finding her daughter was only the beginning. Love would have to be rebuilt, slowly, patiently, and honestly. Celeste didn't abandon her empire. She transformed it. Her vast resources were redirected to child services, shelters, and programs designed to catch those who society lets slip through the cracks. She learned to listen instead of command, to wait instead of demand. And most importantly, she learned to show up. The girl who spoke that day never sought recognition for what she did. Years later, the same utility pole still stood, but it was bare now. No missing poster, no desperate hands. Only sunlight and the steady passing of time. Celeste returned there often not in grief, but in gratitude. To remember the moment everything shattered. And finally began to heal. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and share it so others can feel its powerful message. And before you go, tell us in the comments. Do you believe one small voice can change a life? Sometimes, it only takes one child, one sentence, one quiet moment of truth, to save a soul that was thought to be lost forever. Thanks for watching.